So, I decided to make this video in regards to a debate I saw online. I'm not going to say who the debate is between both people, as I'm not really interested in going down that route. But it sort of inspired me to make a video in regard into this whole concept a lot of people don't seem to comprehend, in regards to the idea that some people claim, particularly in the guru space, that every single man, woman, boy, girl can apparently become a successful businessman, businesswoman, entrepreneur, all the rest of it. Now, that sounds good on paper, but in reality it often doesn't work like that. So I'm going to basically explain to you why exactly that's not the case for many people. So let's use a good example. I'm just going to show you something which happened to me quite recently. So, in case you can't see this okay, I'll just show you, okay? This was supposed to be a case for banana pie. Now, I bought the banana pie 5 off someone. It doesn't matter who it was, that's not really the point of this video. But because it didn't work, it was completely jammed together, there's no way I can get it all without obviously using some sort of chemical, which I don't see a point of doing. I just decided, I'm just going to get it returned. Not purely because of that, because the thing didn't work. The operating system itself wouldn't download onto the computer right. It just got worse and worse. As I said, I'm not going to take it, I'm just going to get it refunded. But this is a simple example. If you're running a business, you'll have all the time. It can be small things, it can be big things, it can be lots of small things equal big things. A lot of people are not enjoying or having fun when you have lots of these sort of problems which are often not made by you. So for example purposes, let's make it simple. Let's just say you run a computer firm. Let's just say you build and repair computers. If you build and repair computers, say, make it simple, 1,000 a month. If your supplier for some reason is late, 2 of them, you might find you can't do work. Even if you ask them to deliver, you offer more money, it doesn't happen. So that basically means in some cases, you might find out you either can't do your work for a month or 2 months sometimes, or you can only do a limited amount because you haven't got the supplies to do the job or do the work on hand. That itself is something which a lot of people don't feel comfortable or don't feel happy doing. This is why I would kind of agree with Steve Barrett's saying that some people who do this sort of things get stressed from it, or mental problems, whatever you call it, or simply it's better for him to be instead some sort of employee or salary man if you want to use Japanese terminology for it. So I'm going to explain why some people can do this and why some people can't. I'm also going to explain the things I've noticed in the SEO community. I've noticed a lot of people seem to get completely screwed up when it comes to physical businesses, and I'm going to explain why exactly I believe that is the case. Now, please note, if you disagree with me or you think I'm wrong, that's cool, no problem. Say what you think in the comments, that's perfectly fine. So anyway, let's get into it. So, why exactly would I say most SEO people seem to always fail or screw up when it comes to physical business, whether it's a pizza shop, a tea shop, or something else, real estate as well, I've heard many of them fail at. So why exactly do the majority of people in the SEO community always seem to fail at physical business or business outside of search engine optimization? Well, this again goes back to the thing which a lot of people don't seem to realise. Not every single man and woman has a business mind. If you have a business mind like I've got, you naturally have it in most cases. It's not a case of what people seem to think. You can train it to get it. You either kind of have it or you don't have it. You can't just inherit it or program yourself to get it. Yes, you can get better at business, but you can't really have a business mind you don't have it, I don't believe. I'm of opinion you're either into business or you're not. I mean, for me, I wanted to be a businessman since I was a kid. When I was 5, my dream job was being a businessman or a policeman. So I've always had an interest in business. For example, I watched Dragon Den. I used to watch Dragon Den quite often. I watched the American version, Shark Tank. I watched the Australian version, the Canadian version. I watch things about investments all the time. I find it interesting. But again, that is me. Not everyone is going to agree with me. Not everyone is going to find that interesting. I find every single part of business interesting. I find everything from a manufacturing interesting. I find the transport systems interesting. I find every single part of a business generally interesting. That is again because I have a business mind. Not everyone has a business mind. For them, if I was to tell them half the stuff I think about business, oh, that's really boring, which I think is fine. If that's what you believe, then that's cool. No issues, no complaints here. But a lot of people don't seem to understand in regards to sort of things. You can't just make it happen. You can't just, for example, first you do well in search engine optimization, you can't then decide, because I've done really well in search engine optimization, I'm going to have a really good pizza shop. I mean, that sounds cool. But again, if we look at results in the SEO community, in most cases I've seen, or almost all cases, they seem to always fail. So, why do I think it always fail? Well, this again goes back to no management skills. Management in the SEO world versus management in a general sense is completely different. So why is it going to say it's completely different? Well, Management, you could argue, in the SEO community is much more simple in most cases. Please note, I'm not saying every single part's simple, but compared to a standard business, it is quite simple. I mean, if you look at this as a simple example, let's just say you run, say, an Italian restaurant. You run an Italian restaurant, you've got lots of people to deal with. You've got lots of suppliers you've got to deal with, so you may have to deal with, say, 20 a month. You've got to manage waiters. You've got to manage a secondary chef to help you out. You've got to manage government bodies. You've got to manage accountants. You've got to manage different people. You've got to manage quite a lot of people. So that itself can make a business running quite complicated. For example, I've spoken to people who are very talented chefs. Why do they decide to stop being a chef and instead become a porter or simply a person or a waiter? Simple, because they don't like the management. They find it too stressful. Being a chef is a very stressful job. I've spoken to friends who have become chefs. I have investigated. I have spoken to people who've been chefs for years and have told me, yeah, I like cooking food and it's fun, but it's a very stressful job. This is again the same sort of thing you can apply to business management or businesses, for why exactly certain people are not designed for it. For example, you could be a world-class architect. You could be the best of the best at architect, but you could decide you don't want to be running a business. You just don't want the stress, which I think is fine. I think it's perfectly fine to get a salary or something. You get paid a salary every month, every 2 months, however, every 2 weeks, however you do it. I think that's fine. I think it's much better in some cases for people to have a salary guaranteed or as close to guaranteed as possible, versus a business where you can have anywhere from making zero money to making big money. You don't know. Every month can be different. Next problem as well, which is quite a big one, is normally there's new laws coming in place which can mean, for example, versus maybe make say £5,000 a month. Because of a new law, it might go down to 4,000 or 3,000 or even less in some cases. That's again a big problem we have in regards to managing business regarding what exactly new dumb policy a politician's going to make or is making at the time. That itself is something a lot of people find very stressful, for why exactly the business style lifestyle is not for everyone. I'm also going to go into a wee bit into the guru space. I think a guru space needs to be talked about to better explain why some people think it's a good idea to, run a business of some kind. So, in the guru space is a common theory people talk about, a common idea people talk about, form your own business, you'll become a millionaire overnight. Form your own business, you'll make $10,000 a month. Join my e-commerce course. I'll show you how to make $50,000 per month. Now, that itself can get through to people, because if people, for argument's sake, are desperate for money, or if they just simply want to change their experience, that itself can be an attractive sales line. So I can definitely understand why people will, to be blunt, jump onto these things which obviously aren't true, or highly unlikely to be true, and then they end up losing all their money, they get annoyed, all the rest of it. I think that's fine. But either way, a lot of people are not designed for business. They just don't have the capacity or the interest to do it. They can't handle the stress, they simply find it no fun. Whatever you may want to call it, they're just not designed for this sort of setup. They're not designed for this lifestyle. Some people are, but not everyone is. This is why when someone put forward the argument that every single person can become apparently an entrepreneur, that is not true. Every single man and woman is not designed for that. It could simply be their personality's wrong. It could simply be maybe they haven't got the skills or knowledge to do it. Or they just don't want to do it. Maybe they don't want the stress. But certain people can. Certain people can do really well in businesses because they can handle stress easy or well, or they simply have a business-minded approach, so they can see opportunities all the time or ways of how to fix things. I mean, to give you a good example, when I started selling on eBay, for me, the reason I was able to do quite well at the start with was I was able to do the things that successful business people can do. I analysed the market, I worked out how much people would pay, I done my research on eBay and Amazon and other sites. I then found out prices I could get to. I then worked out best price I could get to sell a decent deal for people when I was selling pool cues and other things. I worked out prices, I worked out the cost of deliveries, I done my research, I went to different delivery firms to know how much it's going to cost. I done all this research as possible. Once all my research was complete, I was able to generate profit quite quickly, because again, I done all the steps, because I understand how business works, I understand management. I researched the stock cost, I researched the delivery cost, I researched how much it would cost me to get extra envelopes, extra boxes, all the rest of it. I built a working relationship with different suppliers, so if I need extra stock, I can say, hey, look, Sarah, I need a delivery. Can I get it in a couple of days? Say, yeah, sure. Say, thanks, cool, let's do it. That is, again, what a business person can do. If that feels stressful for you, or you don't like doing it, then you have two options. Either you don't run the business, or you have to pay people to do it for you, and you're simply just, say, a private investor. You can do that kind of stuff if you want to, but in most cases you will have to have the business skills to be able to run the company, whether it's from understanding how to do accounts. For example, I've got accounting experience as well, which I would guess there's not that many people, if we're going to be honest, in the SEO community who have an accounting background. I did accounting in high school. I did get a top grade class in my class, and I found accounting very easy. So that's, again, another business skill I've got, which not a lot of people have. I can look into something and say, this is going to make a profit, this is going to make a loss, this gives me a 25% chance. I can work out these sort of things. That's something I'm particularly good at. That's, again, another business skill I've got. Many other business people have these skills. If you don't have these skills, then you might just be just doing the whole thing, hope it works. For example, you buying 100 products, right? Yeah, I'll know to make money. I've done any research, no clue. Then you lose money. You have to do research as much as possible. Whether you're entering a new industry or you're entering one you already know, you have to do as much research as possible. You have to work out what is the right price to sell it. What is the right place? What is the right promotion? What is the right 4Ps? That's again one of the basic things I learned in business management when I was in high school. Product, price, place, promotion, all that kind of crap. That's what I learned. The Boston Matrix, all that kind of stuff. I mean, those things are cool and fun, but again, those sort of things you can learn if you want to quite easy. But again, it goes back to the same equation. Are you the right person to run a business, or are you the right person to be in a salary paid job? If you want to be a salary paid job, that's cool. If you say to me, hey, I want to be a nurse, and hey, cool, go for it. If you say, no, I don't want to be a nurse, I want to be a joiner, then cool, be a joiner. Or plumber, or electrician, or whatever you want. But if you're not interested in doing management, or you just hate it for some reason, you don't like its stress, then you're best to get some sort of salary themed job where you yourself are simply getting paid every month. You don't have to worry about things going wrong as much because you're obviously in the employee level rather than the management team. If you want to do management stuff, then hey, form your own business if that's what you're into. But again, do your research. Do your research as much as possible. There's one of the things that I've heard as well, some people get quite wrong at, the idea you can do too much research. You can never do too much research. That's, again, a wrong idea. It's much better to do a shit ton of research, spend a year doing research into a company's idea or a management system or a business setup than do no research and lose all your money. Doing too much research is better, or a lot of research is generally good, rather than doing none or bad research. Spend as long as you need to if you're going to form a business. Whether you spend a month, 2 months, 4 months, 5 months, 2 years, it doesn't really matter. Do your research into things to see if this is right for you. If you're saying to me after watching this video, yeah, I still think I should form a business, then hey, cool, go for it. But again, do research. Can you make it successful? Do you have the money to invest? If you say I haven't got money to invest, then you obviously have to get money from one way, whether you, for example purposes, you get a good paying job and use it to form a business, or you get a loan. I generally don't go a loan route, but if you want to, then do your research in the banking systems, do your research into getting the best loan rate you can get, and all that kind of stuff, and see if you're entitled to some grants, which may help you. But do your research. And one thing about for end this, I thought I should say, if you want to become an employee or you don't want to form a business, that's cool. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in it. If that's what you want to do, then hey, have a good time. If you instead say, I want to form a business, whether you want to become a businessman, business lady, then go with that. Again, it comes back to you. What is right for you? If you say to me, I know every part of business, I know everything about accounting, marketing, sales, production, transport, that kind of stuff, and hey, cool, go for it. Have a business. You seem to be the right person to do it. If you said to me, look, I don't like stress, I don't like, confrontation, then business is probably not for you. That's just, you have to be, in some cases, a bit aggressive. You can't be like, look, would you stop doing it? You have to say, well, you stop doing it. you have to get more aggressive a bit. I know it's pretty bad aggressive, but I think you get what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's all. Thanks. Bye.